All right. I started this about 30 seconds early. So we'll hop right in here. So today's question is there a Dave Ramsey equivalent for weight loss? And I saw this comment recently on a social media post, and it got me thinking, is there one? And I realized there kind of is. It's pretty much what I've been doing for about the last 3 months. And that got me thinking, if there's somebody who's already invested in Dave's system and they're having success, either getting rid of debt or just getting their financial house in order, those same attitudes and the way they view the whole process should be transferable to health and fitness. And so that's why I kind of created this little presentation today for Dave Ramsey fans over the age of 50 who need to lose weight. So hopefully, if you stick with me here, kind of what I want to do is just give you a kind of a brief description of how the two plans are similar. I'll show you some of the results that I've been experiencing myself so you can see that it actually does work. And at the end, if you stick around until the end, I'll give you a little challenge so you can start your weight loss journey. So let's dive right in with the first slide. Okay, so just to answer the question, I'll kind of go through it step by step here, but I guess I'll first start off by saying, I'm no Dave Ramsey expert, but I am familiar enough with the system. I wouldn't say that I agree with everything that Dave says. I know some people just can't stand him at all, and other people love him, and I'm kind of in the middle. I think he does some things outstanding, and other things I don't necessarily agree with, but that's okay. I don't even agree with myself all the time, so no big deal there. I started listening to Dave like back in 2001 when I was traveling for work. And when I'd hit like Bowling Green, Kentucky, I could pick him up on the radio. And quite honestly, at that time, I think he was just on a channel in Nashville. I don't think he was anywhere else. But anyway, let's jump right in here. So from the equivalency standpoint, the way I look at it is a big point of Dave's system is getting rid of debt, right? That's the first thing that you're saddled with. And I think that reducing your weight is very similar to reducing your debt for two reasons. One, because you didn't get into debt overnight and you probably didn't gain all your weight overnight. And two, depending upon how much debt you have or how much weight you need to lose, it's a pretty daunting task to try to get out of that. And that's why I think a lot of people start or they want to start, but then they quickly fail. And Dave has kind of created this common sense system that doesn't overthink it, that helps people tackle that high mountain of debt. And I think we can do the same thing with a high mountain of weight loss too. So with regard to budgeting, I equate budgeting to meal planning. And the way that I think about that is when you're thinking about, the money that you spend, if you're not keeping track of your money coming in and your money going out, then you really have no control over your finances. And that's a problem. The more in debt you are, the more detailed that you have to track your budget. Well, same thing with weight loss. If you're not keeping track of what you're eating on a daily basis, then it's easy to get out of control there and not even realize what you're doing sometimes. And I've got examples in previous videos of people who, will report like, I don't eat lunch. And then, you follow them around for a week and they eat lunch at a restaurant every day. So we got to keep track of it. And the amount of how much we track, I'll talk about in a minute. But if we don't track it, we don't know what's happening. Third step here, I would equate strength training to Dave's saving and investing. Okay. It's important for the future. We know as we age, we're going to lose strength and muscle mass, and that's going to lead to falls potentially, right? Or just lack of mobility and lack of quality of life. So we want to avoid both of those things. And just like we want to have a nice nest egg for retirement so we can enjoy life, great, you've created this nest egg. That's fantastic. But what if you're in a wheelchair now? Or what if you have a walker and, or what if you fall and break your hip? These are all things that can, one, sap your money because you're in the hospital, but two, you're just not enjoying your quality of life. You worked this long time to do all this stuff to create this nest egg, and now you can't enjoy it. So I look at that as, and it's not going to be our initial focus. So what I mean by that is if I go down to like Dave's debt snowball idea, and quite frankly, I think this is probably the most genius part about Dave's system overall is his debt snowball, because it really attacks the psychology of money and the way people look at it and how they can get excited about getting out of debt versus trying to overanalyze it, overthink it, get spreadsheets and try to figure out, well, which one of my credit cards has the most interest and I'll pay that one. No, we're not doing any of that. We're starting with the smallest and we're going to the biggest, and we're just going to knock them out over time to get that momentum to get out of debt, right? Well, same thing with weight reduction. So what we're going to do in this plan is we're going to set an initial goal of losing 10% of your current body weight. So one of my challenges would be to get on that scale first thing tomorrow morning and weigh yourself, and then figure out what 10% of that is. And that's your initial weight loss goal. For me, when I started this 3 months ago, I was at 210.4, and that put me around 189 and change. So my initial weight loss goal is 190, to get down to 190 pounds. And so just like this debt snowball, until I get rid of that first 10%, I'm hyper focusing, or I think Dave would say laser focused on that goal. That's my prime goal. So that's where the debt snowball comes into effect. And that's what we're going to do with weight loss. And then I would equate Dave's system of 7 baby steps to my 3 simple steps for sustainable weight loss. And the idea there is that we're going to solve a problem, right? Getting out of debt, just like we're going to solve the problem of losing weight. But then once we've accomplished that, that's fantastic. But what we can't do is fall back into our old habits and get back into debt and or gain all that weight back, because then we've solved nothing. So the 3 simple steps are hopefully going to help you create a sustainable, healthy, and fit lifestyle. All right. So let's talk about myself. I'm in my, well, actually, I have a superpower. I'm actually in the future recording this in the past, actually. So this is my 12-week results. I'm actually in week 16 right now. I'm doing these lives to help me try to catch up, because I was getting behind on the YouTube portion of my challenge to myself. But my goal is to walk 10,000 steps a day, every week. And I keep track of that. And one of my accountabilities is A, I write it down, and B, I post on the internet for all 29 of my fans to look at and hopefully cheer along with me and have some accountability if I miss. And this week was a good week. I didn't miss. My lowest week was 10,900. And I'll talk about this more in a second when we get to the challenge for you and how you can get started. But simply put, I just try to do more when I can. I'm still not quite to my 10% weight loss goal. So my laser focus right now is on steps and meal planning. And I'll get to that in a second, which I said relates to like budgeting. And this is what I ate that week. It's honestly, it's nothing really crazy. This particular week, I did have a couple nights where I enjoyed some beers in the evening. I am working night shift now. And if you go back and watch, I don't know if it's like the first or second video I ever did, I worked a night shift and I reported on my results from that. And it was awful. I mean, I ate like chips and soda all night long, and I have been able to not do that because I've been doing this. And this, I guess this just goes to my point of creating sustainable habits that become a habit and that you can actually follow through on. So now I'm full on working night shift 3 days a week, and I'm not falling back into my old ways. So pretty happy about that. And frankly, again, I post this for accountability. Everybody on the internet gets to see it, right? At least anybody who wants to take a look at this video today will get to see what I ate. So there's extra accountability for me there. And then 2 weeks in a row, I didn't do any strength training. I'll talk more about strength training in a minute when we talk about the challenge for you. But this has been a struggle for me in the first 3 months of this challenge for myself. I have been up and down. My goal is to get 3 strength training sessions per week. Many weeks I have done none. Some I've done all 3, just a couple, I think, out of the 12. And then more, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, I've been able to do 2. So I'm getting better. I do have some plans to really change my focus because I'm getting closer in real time, and you'll see that in upcoming videos, to my ultimate 10% goal. And so at that point, I'll probably be shifting focus from laser focusing on the weight loss portion to now shifting focus to the strength training. But it is important to incorporate strength training, especially as we age, especially for 50 or older, because we're going to need that muscle mass as we age to give us that better quality of life. And quite frankly, weight training helps you lose weight too. It burns calories pretty good. So, and it's an efficient way to burn calories. So here's my results. The proof, I think, is in the pudding. The system does work. I started this week at 195 pounds. I ended the week at 193.6 pounds. That's a 1.4 pound loss, or an overall reduction of 16.8 pounds, which I'm very excited about that. And again, I'm right tracking in line. I've had some up weeks and some down weeks, but I'm tracking right along this whole 12 weeks of about 1.5 pounds per week, which is right in the range of that 1 to 2 pounds of weight loss per week to be doing it like in a healthy manner. So I'm very satisfied with that. And I think, I guess I've never shared this before, but there have been weeks, I can't remember if this was one of them in particular, but there have been weeks when I'm getting ready to get on the scale. I'm like, oh, geez. And then I start thinking like, am I going to have to take off clothes to like tip the scale, or am I going to have to cheat and weigh myself the next day after I walk more or something like that? Because I don't want to get here and produce some cruddy result. But the thing is, this is real results. And luckily in 12 weeks, I've only had one bad day. Or one bad week, that is. So that's my results. So hopefully you can see that the system works. You can see kind of how it's very similar to Dave's strategy of getting, your financial house in order. And so here would be my challenge to you to get your health and fitness in order. And so that first thing is, like I said, weigh in tomorrow. Or if you want to start Monday, I wouldn't start Monday though. Just start your week tomorrow. That's how I started this whole thing. If you go back and watch my very first video, I decided one day, today's the day. And we just started. Didn't have to be perfect. We just had to get moving because I knew it was time. And so weigh in tomorrow and get that 10% goal and start moving towards that. Okay. And you're going to do it with those 3 simple steps. So this is similar to Dave's 7 baby steps. So you're going to move more, and your goal should be 10,000 steps a day. Do more when you can, but at least minimally try to get to 10,000 steps a day. You need to eat better. And the key to eating better is, the way that I do it is I journal it. I just write it down. And you saw my spreadsheet there. It's nothing too detailed. I don't weigh my food. I don't track calories because I know for me that's not sustainable. And quite frankly, I find it cumbersome. So I just write down what I'm eating, and that helps me keep on track. Similar to what you would do in finances. Before you make that purchase, can you afford it? Is it something that you want, or is it something that you need? Can it wait till later? That kind of thing. You're doing the same thing about the stuff that you put in your mouth. I'm hungry. Okay, got that. I'm going to put this in. Is it good for me? Is it bad for me? That kind of stuff. So write it down. That accountability right there, I think, will go a long way towards helping you with losing that first 10%. And then there might need to be some level of education. I understand that not everybody is a nutrition guru. I don't necessarily have a nutrition background, but I am a registered nurse. So I did have to have some education in nursing school. I have a basic understanding of anatomy and physiology. I think I took one nutrition class. I'm interested in health and fitness in general, so I read about it a little bit. So that might be not necessarily your hobby or what you're into, and that's okay. There's no harm in that. But if you're not 100% sure what eating healthy is or should look like, then I would recommend just hitting the old Googles and checking out the Mediterranean diet, the Whole30 diet, or the DASH diet. And I am not advocating that you follow a strict diet, because I think strict dieting is one of the reasons why people do this with weight loss. Just like, rolling over your credit card debt into your home mortgage and then rebuilding that credit card debt up back again and over is why people have a hard time getting out of debt. So just do a little bit of education with small incremental changes. Look up those diets and pick a half a dozen meals that you think might sound good, that you would enjoy eating, and just plan them in your meal. And then there you go. You're already eating better than you did the week before. And really, that's all it comes down to on eating better, is day by day, meal by meal, week by week, trying to get better at what you're doing and being honest with yourself about what you're doing, just like you are with your budget. Step 3 of this 3 simple steps: lift heavy things. You want to try to strength train 3 times a week. You can look at some of my previous videos on what my strength training is right now. I've been doing a dumbbell circuit. Certainly, if you don't have any equipment, it's not a prerequisite. You can certainly just use body weight exercises like push-ups, sit-ups, crunches, squats, lunges. That'll do it too for strength training. But the idea is and we're not talking about bulking up. We're not talking about, getting jacked and tan. That may come down in the future for you at some point. And if it does, great. But initially, we're just trying to get our bodies used to strength training again, because as we lose weight, then we can transition into more complex strength training if we want to. But regardless, we need to do at least a baseline of strength training to keep that muscle mass as we age. And then lastly, the last part of the challenge is I'd ask you to commit to doing this for 12 months. I've committed to doing a minimum of one YouTube video per week. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this lives, to try to catch back up, because just the video production has kind of bogged me down a little bit. And there was a point in time where I almost quit the whole thing. And I don't want to do that. But I want to do this for 12 months because I don't want this just to be a diet. You know, if you've ever done like a 30-day diet or 90-day diet before, you get some good results, you congratulate yourself, and then you go back to your old ways. And so what my goal is to be at the end of this year, is that this stuff that I'm talking about here it's just what I do. It's the way I just live my life now and create myself a healthy and sustainable lifestyle. So hopefully you found some value in this. If you're having success with Dave Ramsey's system for your finances, then and you need to lose some weight, then I challenge you to try this system out and see if that can't help you lose the weight. And then all that money that you're saving for retirement, you'll be able to enjoy more. But until next video, just remember to move more, eat better, and lift heavy things. Thanks for watching.